Oh, now we're live. Hi, everybody. Hello. Yeah, historical mediumship. I'm Teri holding your space, and this is Gerald from TarotStache. And we are live finally. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank
Bora
you.
Bora, how are you?
Hi, Bora
I,
Bora.
I hope you weren't waiting since 1 o'clock because I got confused. I got a little confused today about the timing.
And we figured it out. It's all fine.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
worked
we
out
figured
great.
it out. It was all about me. Hey, Randy, how are
Well,
you
isn't it
doing?
always about you, Teri?
You know,
It's
I don't know how that happens all the time like that.
well, it's always about Teri at holding your space, and everybody should definitely like and subscribe to her channel because it's free.
Yes, please do, and like and subscribe to your channel.
Well,
Um,
thank you.
okay, weird thing happened today, everybody. My like button is gone on all the like I go on everybody's things and
Oh, I think I saw
notifications,
something like that. Yeah.
and I can't find any like buttons. I can find the down, but I can't find the
I I noticed that, but there is a number to where that would have been to the like, and you can click on the number and it will show up.
Oh, okay.
Because I just noticed that it was like where is this? I was going to like my own video
Yeah,
because if
right?
you don't like who you are, then that's crazy.
Own it.
So
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's weird. I think it must be a glitch. Um, happy to be here with you too. NC. Oh, I like the way she did that or they did that. That's amazing. Anyway, hi Teresa. Good to see you and NC. So it's like, oh, okay. So Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, and one of the richest mans in the world, one of the richest
this is the
men in the
world.
world, and men is
Okay.
the person. Anyway, his company went down 99% on the stock market, and it was a glitch in the system. One
Oh.
of the best funded companies in the world, one of the most successful, you know, I mean, he's been a huge success in investments and stuff.
Mm,
Anyway, that was a triple weird thing to happen.
weird. Well, and I think there's a lot of I think we're energetically there was so much going on in April and May. I think this is part of the residual effects of that
Little,
because sometimes people download and all of that stuff, and it's like, wow, okay,
yeah. So I think we can liken our not finding our thumbs ups to Berkshire Hathaway
yes,
and
yes, it's
Warren
all their
Buffett,
fault.
$900 million or whatever he's got. So right, Randy, time is being strange. Hi, Linda. Um, Time
Linda.
is being really strange. So the other day, I had like just a few minutes to get home, and I had some stuff to do, and then I was either going on a show or getting ready to go out. I can't remember. And I was getting ready to go out, and so I'm racing home, and I look at the clock when I leave this place, and it usually takes me 20 minutes to get home. It was 9:02 when I left. It was 9:06 when I got home, and I always go under the speed limit, right?
Okay,
I know. I was like, "Okay, I totally worked that out." Yeah. Yeah.
that's yeah, doesn't surprise me, and it's like I'm a big fan of the Matrix and this idea of multiple timelines and stuff like that, and I get excited when stuff like that shows up. It's just like, whew, okay,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. I really needed to get to that dinner party. So,
And you made it. And how was the dinner party?
it was heaven. It was, one of my best friends and her husband invited me over, and they made a lovely meal for me, and that made me feel really special.
Oh, well, you are special.
Thank you. So are you.
Well,
You
thank
and
you.
Jeffrey both.
Yes.
So, Bora Bora says, "I wasn't waiting, Terry. Sometimes I come in early to say hi and then leave." Oh, your notifications and your time was just right. Oh, good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, yay. The birthday girl's here. Amy Warrior Princess. Hello,
Hi, Amy.
beautiful. So good to see you.
Uh, Randy, I let go of limiting beliefs. Anything goes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Randy.
There you
So
go.
I can't look at Randy without saying Dragon Rider. Every time I see you come in, that's what I'm thinking of, Randy. Anyway, I think that was a series of books that were incredible.
Sounds familiar, yes.
Yeah. And yeah, those limited beliefs, we're all changing our story right now, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we are changing our story. We have the opportunity to continue to change our story if we want. So, because sometimes, what is it that sometimes you change when it's too hard to, when it's too painful to stay where you are.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, yeah. Anyhow, I don't
Yeah.
know why I said that.
No, it's so true because a lot of our stories, high hypnicity, are like limited beliefs. Like Randy was saying, it's the stories that we grew up with, thinking that we had to have this job, or that these people had to employ us, or we had to live in this kind of a house, or wear
Yes.
these kinds of clothes. We couldn't wear tie dye every day in pajama pants. Who says that?
I haven't. So,
So anyway, yeah. So everything's changing, and that time should be the same. Why
yeah.
should time matter?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Hi,
yeah.
Nancy, a Crohn's Intuition. Good to see
And the
you.
little story, right? And see, um, Nancy, hello, beautiful. I was going to say good morning. Yeah, fork that shirt, right? Fork everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hypnicity. A mind is like an umbrella. They work best when they're open.
Yes.
Oh,
It is. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's hard for me to remember to open the dang umbrella
yeah.
because I've been so stuck in my ways. It's hard to do sometimes. So,
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
mhm,
And what we're letting go of. That's the other thing. We were talking about that backstage. I had to let go of a lot of old stuff
mhm,
that I thought I let go of, you know.
yes.
But it was still weighing on me.
Yeah.
Linda, so far today you went from pajamas to bathing suit back to pajamas. Yeah.
Very nice. And I hope somewhere in there you got some natural vitamin D
Yeah.
because we all have to hydrate. We have to make sure we get our proper vitamins. And oh, here, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. I'm not telling you you need supplements.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hi,
So,
Kaylee. Nice to see you. Randy, you're excited for a change. It's an
Randy.
adventure, right? Miss Kaylee's here. Or no, that's Bora Bora. Sorry. I thought I saw Pogo Pogo. Okay, well, no, I didn't. Maybe she's here in another dimension. So in her pajamas.
Could be. Oh, and Linda did get vitamin D. 2 hours of water walking. Good for you.
Linda, I'm really, yeah, right. I just want to say, Linda,
Good for you.
I want to give you a hand.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. I love it. I love it.
I got my hands, my crystal wig hands. So my Gerald hands. So, yep, there we
Round of
go. I
applause,
finally
everybody.
found
Round of
some.
applause.
I
I
think
love those. I
these
need to
are,
have merchandise with tiny hands or something like that.
you need to, yeah, and
Oh my gosh.
fans. And fans with Gerald's face on them, right, everybody?
No, I don't want my face on them. I want a mustache with them. You know, something like that.
Oh,
That would be good.
that would, a mustache and glasses.
Yes. Well, yeah, that works.
Yeah,
Sooner or
I would
later,
love
I'm going to
that.
have to get new glasses, so I'm hoping
Oh,
I can find some good ones.
those are amazing.
So I
Yeah,
like them.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I like those.
My niece is just opening up her pool. She's got a pool in her house that she bought last year, and I'm gonna go
Uh-huh.
walking, Linda,
Nice.
in her pool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today
Go
we
for
are
it.
doing hysterical mediumship. I mean, historical, and so that'll be fun. And uh, today we picked some interesting places, and we're both doing something a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to?
Well, why don't you tell them the places and what we were doing, because this is something new.
Yeah,
We've not
this
done
is
this.
something new. Yeah, before we've done people, and then we did one
We did the
time.
cemetery.
Yeah, we did that beautiful cemetery in LA, the
Mhm.
Forever Cemetery or something like that.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah, and that was really cool. And then so I like the energy of reading on a place, because the earth has so much energy, and why
Mhm.
shouldn't individual places have a lot of energy?
Yes.
So I wanted to read on Maui.
Mhm.
And I feel like Maui is going through a big transformation, obviously, with the fire, and it's such a spiritual place anyway. I mean, it's just a
Mhm.
magical place,
Mhm.
and things are really changing there. I feel like, because we're seeing all these billionaires coming in and building compounds, and then the people that are the island people, that their families have been there for generations, and um, um, anyway, having to make sacrifices, especially with the fire. So and it's not just that, it's also the
Yeah.
land is changing.
Mhm.
So we're doing the volcano,
Mhm.
Haleakala. Did you do Haleakala? Did you do that volcano?
I'm actually doing it right here. So
Oh, good.
yes.
Okay.
So
And
I'm doing that.
and I wanted to read also. We'll both read on them. I wanted to read also on, of course, the banyan tree.
Yes. The
So
Lahaina banyan tree. Mhm.
yeah, the Lahaina banyan tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I think it's really interesting that when we think about stuff like this, because places have a history and they hold that history to them, and there's an honoring that needs to be established in an understanding, but not a discounting.
yeah,
So
yeah. I love that, Gerald. It's like a battlefield,
mhm.
right? It has an imprint of that consciousness.
Yes, yes.
And as do cemeteries, which I loved that cemetery that we did in Hollywood, because it was like a big party. The
Mhm,
people that were buried there were still coming back and visiting, because it was a big party,
mhm.
and they're being celebrated too by the people in the community.
Yes.
And then here, I feel like in a way, it's like the phoenix has come to Maui,
Mhm.
the cleansing and whatnot, and the changes that are happening.
Yeah,
So, yeah, hypnicity, lots of conflicting interests in Hawaii recently.
there really are, and I'm hoping that the conflicting interests, they do not disregard the indigenous population associated with that in the traditions. That's where I get very concerned, and that's part of my opinion. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, the changes that are coming.
mhm.
However, the past doesn't exist, right? So I love that, and see, it's like the um, the part of karma as we know it is changing as we go into 5D,
Mhm.
and those past things that we had as karma that we believed in, as we ascend and we look at everything in that in between,
Yeah.
it's no longer there like it was, but I
Mhm.
still feel like that energy is imprinted in these places, that we can
Of course.
acknowledge.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd, isn't it?
It is odd, and yeah, to become the teacher of living untethered.
Yeah, in the flow, completely in the flow, and see.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and they do say, people who don't study history are bound to repeat it. So
yeah.
there's that to consider.
There is a lot of acknowledging it, and Yeah, we could go. That's a whole nother thing that we could go
Oh
into.
yeah,
With, shoo, down some deep paths that we probably don't want to talk about today
yeah.
because we don't have enough time.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
But yeah, yeah, process it, learn it, pass through to become the teacher.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you a question, and Teri does not know I'm going to ask her this. The volcano, is it male or female? Is it masculine or feminine?
I think Haleakala is masculine, and I think Haleakala holds space for Pele, who is the
Okay.
goddess of fire.
Okay. Hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I was getting conflicted feelings because I agree with you. It feels very feminine to me in the
Mhm,
sense of the creator destroyer aspect.
mhm. Like
Um,
Kali.
yeah, like Kali, and and that the aspect of that is it's almost like here's what needs to happen. We're going to make something happen, and then that's where sometimes the counterpart can show up and actually help to give some structure to it. Not so I don't know, but
I love that, and also because, I wanted to talk to you about that from your perspective of working with magic and the elements.
hmm
And, and it does feel like, all the elements come together in that, working with the air and the fire and the water.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's one of those things when we're talking about lava itself is fire and earth mixed. When you put fire and earth together, what do you get? You get lava.
Oh.
So think about that. There's this opportunity of mixing things, and I think all of the elements have an aspect to them, uh, masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
It is how they are used and how they're put together. So, um, did I answer your question? So, the lava for me, and I do pay attention to this because I am an overcomplicator sometimes, where I'm like going, okay, what happens when you put like earth and water together? You get mud. If you pay attention to mud, lots of things can happen with mud. If you put fire and earth together, you get lava, in my mind. You get molten earth moving forward. And none of those can exist without like air to heat it up.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing.
It is. I like that. It because it is a. I mean, it is a coming together, a flow, but also a dance, and that's what I always kind of see when I look at the energy of Kali and Kali Yuga in that dance coming in with
Mhm.
the energy.
Well, and that dance is so powerful because there is this rapid exchange of energy, and it's like the great right. There's an exchange of energy, and there is an eruption of power and energy. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and it just looks different for different aspects.
yeah. Love this, Lori, and it's good to see you, my darling. Randy, I feel it's a blend of both. Maui has been celebrated as sacred land.
Mhm.
Yeah, Maui is very sacred land and very much
Yes.
a center for star beings. I mean, you can't look up at the sky at night there without seeing, ships going through. And then also, there's so much going on in the land and the water there.
Yes.
Um, I lived there for a short time,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, and it was so beautiful. And I'll never forget. Like, there was this beach that we would go to, Little Beach, which was south of Waimea, and it was kind of like you had to go through, the rocks and everything. And we had an old Land Cruiser. It was amazing. Anyway, never mind. That's another story. But but we would go down there, and the islanders would always say, they'd always tell us, never show your back to the water, never turn your back on the water, respect the water.
Definitely respect the water. Yes.
Yeah, and everything would come in sets of 3, which is a very sacred number, all the waves. And they were so much fun to play with, but you had to know that they would also break your back if you turned your back on them.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's I think it's an important aspect to I know some people who live on Maui, and there is a respect for nature.
Yeah.
And when the waves are, when the water is doing certain things, you don't mess with it. You respect it. You keep the distance.
Oh, speaking of which, aloha.
Speaking of beautiful and powerful people, hi, Betsy.
Yeah, perfect timing, Betsy, beautiful Betsy, right? Oh, I don't have one of those. Doggone dirty dogs. Oh, well.
So,
yeah. So it is, yeah. Happy Aloha Monday. Yeah.
it's Monday.
Oh. So we're talking about Haleakala and the banyan tree today, Betsy, and the energy of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, do we want to read on Haleakala, or do you want to throw cards on it?
I've already got
you've got yours? Okay.
Yeah. Got
you go ahead.
Well, I think one of the things is there is a for the Haleakala, which I am my apologies. This is I have pulled 5 cards, and 4 of them are court cards.
Ooh.
So this tells me that it feels like there is some resetting or some energy around around. There's deity aspects associated with this. And because I have 2 pages, I have the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So I think this is an important thing too. There is a reminder to respect. House of the Sun. Thank you. There is a reminder to respect the natural power of nature. Because do not mess with nature. Do not try. This is the King of Wands. And so there's an aspect of fiery and uncontrolledness about it. But I was, because, I asked you, do you feel that
Haleakala.
Yes. If it felt masculine and feminine, because it feels very feminine to me, in the sense of, I will take you out like a mother can. But I think there's an understanding. I think people are. It feels very chaotic a little bit for So Yang at the summit. I would understand that.
Yeah.
So and it feels like that. There is. Okay, this is coming. This is a weird thing, because but Pele is sometimes seen. Here's what I'm feeling is there's a sense of, what's the word? I don't speak Hawaiian. There has been a separation of respect and doing. It's talked about, but it's not. Hi JJ. It's talked about, but it's not always demonstrated. And I think this is a message for all of us. The importance of not just reading about, but having our own personal experience with. Because I think I can stop there. Just this feeling of disconnect, and it's like, oh my, and it's like, Something's going on there. It's like getting our attention.
Yeah, I do feel like it's arising, like the power of Maui is arising with everything happening, and it's always been a very special, historically and spiritually place, very connected. But I feel like with the changes happening on the earth, that it's kind of turning into like the phoenix rising, kind of is what they were showing me. And I get that this is about the spiritual practice there,
Oh.
and the spiritual practice on Haleakala, getting the priorities straight. So, so many people have moved in and really trying to change the nature of what's going on as far as owning the land and whatnot. And I remember we had a land survey company there, and I remember my husband went out with some of our workers, and they went up way in the mountains, and it was this place in this area, and all these people had moved in, and it was like school buses and tarps and tents and beautiful energy. And they said, "Hey, do you know where your property lines are?" And the guys were like, "Man, who really cares?" And I always remembered that, that was like one of the most amazing things going on that somebody could have said. Is like, "Hey, man, who really cares?" I was like, that's who I want to be. Government is trying to build more observations up there since the Big Island was stopped. Yeah. Yeah. Tuta was shaking your head. Yes. I love that. I love that, JJ.
Yeah.
So strength and perseverance. So waiting a little bit. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of prosperity in that. Because I think that all these changes have happened. People have come and they've bought up. But I do feel like the power will come back to the land as far as like being a community, not being owned by the billionaires, and not having all these people buy up the land. And there'll be prosperity with the people that live there, but also with the like the spirits, the ancient ones on Haleakala, because they're watching.
Oh, they're watching so closely.
Yeah.
So closely.
Yeah. And that's kind of something that I've been feeling a lot around the country, is that the ancient ones are coming up out of the earth.
Well, yes. I've also said that there is a need across the world for the divine feminine to rise up and to, no, let me rephrase that. The divine feminine continue to rise up and to show herself, and in all people, regardless of gender. But what does it look like to nurture? What does it look like to care? What does it look like to understand we are a whole instead of individuals in one place?
Yeah. I agree. I feel like that divine masculine and divine feminine has gotten into a dance, just like the lava and the fire and earth have gotten into. And it's like, it is a fluidity now. And the kids that are coming in, I think they're really more involved with their masculine or their feminine self, and they're not really putting a limit on it, like a name.
Yeah. I also think I think it's really, I'm in the middle of my reading. I have two cards that are about water.
Oh yeah.
And this is really important for those who are lucky enough to be able to put their put their feet in the water and to become part of it. They're talking about closing down 2,000 Airbnbs, but they're building at least that many vacation condos for uber rich.
Yeah.
So I think there's this need of, this is, water for me, it feels much more feminine. but there's this need to start having respect for the environment. This is all about the environment. This is all about the environment, really, for me, because when we're not, I mean, what do we do without water? Hello, we die. What do we do without bees? We starve. Again, for entertainment purposes only. This is Gerald's opinion, not endorsed by anyone else. So I think there's this, I mean, it's, you know, it feels, you know, I'm hoping that some people will really start to take action. Water, big issue, because our aquifer is being over pumped daily for 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Probably for grass and resorts.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to die for entertainment only. Yeah, we're going to die for entertainment only. But there is definitely a need for people to start speaking their truth and to be saying the hard things, the things that people have been wanting to ignore. So,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's so true. Well, I feel like, and that water thing is such a big issue, isn't it, Betsy? It's like another dance we're going through, and everybody with their front lawns and back lawns, and
well,
you know,
yeah, I mean, and there's this, you know, and you're going to get me on a soapbox, because I've connected in. Part of it is why not plant local? Why not do things that are local?
yeah,
If you live on a beach, you don't have grass as a lawn. I mean, not that I am aware of. You may have some seaweed, but, you know, pay attention to what is naturally around instead of going against it and fighting. Go with what is natural, because it's going to be easier.
yeah.
Well, and it's going to be appropriate.
Right. Yeah, and it'll take care of our families.
Yeah.
So I love this about Haleakala. I want to move on to the banyan tree now.
Mm-hmm.
And so the banyan tree is, you know, gone through that horrible fire.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's coming back. But now I think they have a lot of insects. I'm not sure if they've rectified that yet or not. And they've had to cut off certain parts that were and trim it down. But it's, you know, the banyan tree in itself is such a spiritual place, because that's where Buddha became enlightened.
Yes, I was actually looking online for some spiritual significance, because I'm curious, and you know, the trees themselves have great significance, and of course, the banyan tree is one of the most revered in Hinduism, and the banyan tree is considered as a symbol of immortality. Because of the root system, they grow down from its branches, forming additional trunks and anchor the tree to the ground. I think this is, you know, it symbolizes longevity with that. So, and I think, you know, one of the things that we were talking about, Teri, and is this, you know, the Lahaina banyan tree, the fires, totally devastating. This has been something that has been established, an integral part of the culture. Very tragic, very, very disheartening, very difficult to understand and to grasp. What I actually found is that part of it, banyan tree has been meticulously cared for daily since the fire. They did trim it back after fire, and it has woken up and is flourishing.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm so glad.
And part of what I got when I was looking at the banyan tree is there's this idea of resilience. And that's a key thing. I think it is a reminder that nature is resilient.
Yeah.
If you let nature take it, do its thing, nature is resilient. It goes in cycles, and for all of the beauty and the memories associated with it, now there's an opportunity for new things to evolve and to grow and to become part of. It's really, really fascinating.
Yeah. It is. It is like the phoenix rising from the fire. So I pulled some stuff on the banyan tree and what it's known for, and like the tree of life is what it represents, basically. And there's a Vedic fire, and it's known as yagna. And it's a process of burning plants and herbal medicines to purify the environment. And the twigs of the banyan tree are invariably used. The sacredness of the tree also comes from the ancient stories residing in the place of Lord Kubera, the god of wealth, and Lord Krishna used to rest on the banyan trees. So it's kind of like all of this coming in, and to have the tree burn like that and to have it be such a symbol of Maui and spirituality there, and been there for so long. And we have a special guest coming in, our expert on Maui and the banyan tree. There she is. Yay.
Surprise! Hi, everybody.
Yay.
Betsy Palmer. Aloha.
Aloha. How are you guys?
Hello.
I'm so glad you came on. I was going to invite you, and I wasn't sure if you'd want to do it or not.
Oh, well, yeah, I probably would have said no, but the minute I saw you guys on, I was like, oh, mouth overruns logic. So
anybody that doesn't know Betsy Palmer is a medium, a psychic, and intuitive. She lives on Maui. She has for years. She is so connected there. So I'm so excited that you jumped on.
She is an awesome human being, insightful. Should I just keep heaping praise on you, Betsy?
Not necessary. Not necessary. Because I don't look anything like that in my freshly oceanized just out of the shower, guys.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. That's great.
But look what I have. Gerald has seen this. Teri, you've not seen this.
God.
This is a pendulum my friend Susan Varsamis gifted me in December. I hosted a series of guided meditations up at her place, which is on the hills above Lahaina, but right after the fires. We did that once a month. And so she gifted me this pendulum, which is made from wood from the banyan tree. The gentleman is an arborist, and so he has legal access to sacred woods. And this is from the banyan tree pre-fire, but it's still, and it is painted green. This is not the color of banyan tree. But still, I have this.
That's so powerful. I love it.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I'm so happy for you and that you got that, and that's phenomenal. Okay, I'm sorry, I was just reading something else. There is so much going on with the banyan right now, and it was really hard to get information. I Googled it like 25 times, and I the only thing I could get was going back to, I think, October.
Well, there's a great website, MauiNow.com. It gives you all the news. Anyway,
Okay.
And on Facebook, it's Maui 24/7, 24/7. It's got all the latest on everything. So what happened was immediately after the fires, when vehicles could get through, one of the biggest construction companies was taking tankers through there every day to keep the dust settled and check for hot spots. But every day they were dumping at least 1 or 2 tankers of water on the banyan tree from the very start. Unprompted, they just did it. And then the arborist came through and checked the tree, and they said it was alive, but it was in a coma. So they made a plan, they trimmed it strategically, and almost immediately there was signs of regrowth coming back. So, and it is flourishing now. I haven't been able to see it because I'm not allowed in that zone still. Only the people that actually owned homes there are allowed to be in the zone. But we do get pictures of it regularly, and it's green. And there was even one posted that was so sweet. In the nook in the roots, a hen had laid a nest, a clutch of eggs, and
Oh,
and that was a long time ago. But yeah, that one just, yeah, so happy.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So, yeah, it does look like malachite, doesn't it, Lori? Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. Your pendulum.
I think this is interesting, Betsy, because I like the word resilience for this tree, and nature, and the fact that they were going through putting water on it. I mean, just because they were doing something else, it actually probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
So really powerful.
Yeah, and that they were a big construction crew, that just, I mean, I'm sure they could have used that water other places. So,
yeah, they made a point of it. They kind of did it unprompted, and then when the arborists got involved, they set up a whole program with it. So then they were like regularly scheduling the water deliveries for it. So
wow.
So this is an interesting thing I like is there is this working together and allowing people's strengths to be used for the overall best outcome, I think.
Yeah. For the tree, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, part of the energy that I'm getting around it, Betsy, is like that it's like that Phoenix energy, and that some of the commercialism and whatnot that was happening in big businesses trying to buy things up, that this is going to be a change.
Boy, that remains to be seen. It's going to take a long time, I think, for anything to start happening with the business sector in Lahaina. They're trying to get some housing rebuilt up there, and there have been, I think, I can't remember now. I'm losing track. But anyway, some families have been given permission to rebuild on their land where their home stood if they should choose. I don't know anybody's going to go about getting financing right now for that. I don't know. But anyway, some people have been granted permission to rebuild. They're building some temporary housing. They had some apartment housing that was in the works, and they're going really fast trying to get that finished up. But there's still 600 people living in hotels, and they're all being kicked out every day. The ones that have fallen through the cracks with FEMA. It's really weird here, guys. It's really weird.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, FEMA, it does weird things. I remember all the hurricanes when I was in Florida.
Yeah.
And all the trailers and the mold in the trailers, and
Well, we don't even have FEMA trailers here because the planes that are big enough to fly that cargo in are too big to land here.
Oh.
So the any little Hale housing has been churches and private nonprofits, and there's last I knew there's still people living in tents, big like army tents out behind the airport somewhere. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Do you feel like this is going to become like a spiritual center there because of that, or I don't know?
I feel it's the opposite.
Yeah. Oh.
So many people have moved and relocated. The people up on the west side that, if a lot of those homes were built very long time ago, and so there's multi-generational households and people all working in service industry. So do you think they had home insurance?
Yeah.
And since that is an act of nature, You know, a lot of insurance only covers what happens in the interior of the house. So, so a lot of those people have relocated, and there's really there's very, very little housing. So they're having a hard time. What businesses are open on the west side, they're having a really hard time filling any positions because people don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
So what is happening, as I put in the chats, is they just are trying to put the kibosh on Airbnb here, essentially. So they're trying, that would mean a big impact on vacation rentals, but on the same token, they're building just as many places very near me where I live here for, you know, small apartments that start in the $2 million. So
Wow.
it feels like we need a lot more banyan trees if Hawaii is gonna not turn into America. So yeah. Sorry guys to be Debbie Downer, but it's hard here right now. It's really hard.
I think I'm glad you were honest, because people need to be aware of this, because those of us, we're only seeing what maybe on the news. We're not having the feet on the ground experience of it. So thank you.
Well, so before COVID, it was a kind of a crisis point with tourism here. There was one visitor for every 2.5 residents prior, and it was a number that wasn't sustainable for infrastructure and for water and food, obviously, and just cars on the road, that whole thing. So COVID came along and it got real quiet, and everybody kind of appreciated that. And during COVID, hundreds and hundreds of homes were bought by offshore people over the phone for over asking price that just moved here and worked out of their home.
Yeah.
So a lot of people lost their homes. I had 5 friends that were in rental units that lost their units, and none of them were behind on rent, and only one of them was on unemployment during COVID. So people lost their homes because everything was being sold. It's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. So I don't know what it would, I don't know what the tipping point is. I don't know what it would take for the Hawaiian culture to regain a prominence here. And I don't want to seem entitled or arrogant to say that I have a right to have a dog in that fight, because obviously I'm not from here.
That's why I wasn't sure if you'd want to come on, because I know that you walk that neutral line.
Yeah. So it's trying to figure out the role of tourism and what the future of the island is. It's all up in the air right now.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a very difficult spot to be in. It's just, nobody likes to be up in the air. I mean, like that. It hurts. It's confusing. So
it is confusing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's well, I certainly hope that things can come to pass. Is it particularly Maui that's like that? I know Maui's always been a little more going on. I mean, obviously Oahu is too. Oahu is so busy and multicultural, but Maui seemed like it was I know that's why we moved there, because it was a good place to start a business.
Yeah.
It had a good base of people that were living there and business but you still had the beautiful land too.
Yeah. They're doing everything they can to encourage small business right now, which is really good. There's a lot of resources coming online to help people get businesses started. There's incentives for people that relocating from the west side into other areas for businesses. There's considerations being given to those people. And there's a lot of training going on in construction. They just graduated, on 65, I think, 65 people in a construction program, apprenticeship program. So there's a lot happening. Hawaii hasn't had the same kind of thing, not to this extent. And Oahu, as far as I know, is doing just fine. I think the Big Island has had a little bit of what we're experiencing, a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I had friends that had trips planned to Maui right before and right after the fire, and it was like they waited 6 months to go out of respect, and also, just they didn't know. And when they did come on, it was they had a nice trip when they were there. I mean, of course, you couldn't go over where Lahaina was or anything, and they wouldn't have wanted to, but So
I think whatever happened, what's an important thing is there has to be an understanding of respect to meet where the community is, where the land is, where the people are, and don't feel entitled. I mean, because if you can afford if you're traveling and you can be there, well, just remember there are people that may not have a roof over their head. They may just have canvas. So.
Oh, you can see them. There's people camping out everywhere. There's people, it's really easy to check what's going on here. If you come to visit, just get up very early on any given morning and just drive down not the main streets, drive down some shady side roads, and you'll see how many people are sleeping in their cars. And on the beaches up on past Lahaina, you'll see how many people are living in tents up there still. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Tina Mack is saying, also, I had a reading and talked about how my daughter losing her land to the volcano eruption in 2016, Pele came in and said it was her land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So there is that too. It's Pele's land at the end of the day.
Yeah. So the vision here for most of, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Pele's making her presence known with a new eruption breaking through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over.
So the really common desire for many people that live here is for Lahaina not to be rebuilt as it was in the structures that were left over the whaling industry.
Yeah.
What they would like is a green space with no cars and educational opportunities, as well as cultural demonstrations and places to teach cultural things about music, dance, and language and tradition, and to have it turned into more like a green space, park-like setting, or I guess with museum-y kind of things, right? So there, at one point, Lahaina, which is very deserty dry, it was a green way. It was a watershed, and the water was all diverted for farming. So this is known. They have the maps of what the waterways used to look like. And there was this little island in the middle, and the only person allowed to set foot on that island was King Kamehameha. And that now is, they know exactly where it is. It's under a parking lot.
Oh, geez.
Talk about disrespect.
Right? Yeah. Like the king. Who was the king that they dug up in a parking lot in Cornwall or something? Who was that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Richard was talking about that. Yeah.
Richard, wasn't it King Richard?
I
Well, it
can't
was
remember,
something
but
about him.
it just
Yeah.
reminds me of that so much. But King Kamehameha is not buried there, but his little island, his private island, is under a parking lot. So people want to restore that, and if you guys could all put that out there, Google Lahaina watershed map or something.
Mhm.
So, and if we could all hold the vision for that, I would really, really be grateful.
That we can do that. Is there anything else we can do, Betsy, to help with this?
I don't know. I just don't know about that. What are yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a lot going on right now all over the planet, I feel like. As far as people are kind of waking up and saying this can't last the way that we're doing things, and taking the water and the land and what we're doing, and why have we done that, right? Why haven't we lived with it? And and that's popping up all over the place. It seems like that's some of the chaos that's going on right now. People saying, "Oh, I have to do that. That's all I've ever done." There's fear involved.
I
Yeah.
love the idea of let's put energy toward taking the environment to that next level and returning it back to its natural state. Let's remove the negative human impact and try to put it toward an education and a cultural institution. And so it's an honoring, because then it elevates it. There's a beauty in remembering of that and honoring that, because we need to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Teelan's talking about sad losing rental due to gritty home sales. Exis and lost Lahaina business before fire and it's homeless. Oh, I'm so sorry, Teelan.
Yeah. There's just so many people. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely putting out the most beneficial outcomes. Well, we'll start including it in our meditations. That's something we can do quite easily.
Yeah. Yes. And Haleakala too. Like I said, they're talking about, because they blocked everything on Mauna Kea. So they're talking about now they called it something different, but they're talking about building some new huge facility up there, military facility, and saying, of course, everything, the things that are there are now outdated. And so we're just going to build a new one instead of use what we have and update it. We're going to build something that's 4 times as big up there. And man alive.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, Betsy.
It's an interesting time to choose to incarnate, to witness a lot of what's going on right now. There's a lot going on, right?
Yeah. There is all over the planet, but you were really close to a huge thing that happened on not a huge island that really does affect a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just remembering that, House of the Sun, so very important when we peel back a little bit, and it's so descriptive when we, and that's, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, because there's power in words, and there's power in understanding the origin of those words. And I think that, remember that, choose the words that you use carefully, and as you're honoring, elevate it and put that energy to it. Because when we do it, when we think about that, it connects with everyone who has come before us and has said it before. So
yeah.
So
yeah, everybody's got some great comments. Lori says, I will hold that vision. The blue light surges are coming to the surface. One aspect of the light coming to the surface is to restore sacredness to the waters of Mother Gaia. Yeah. And yeah, maybe they can rebuild apartments. Yeah, green. Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting because we know that things are going to change across the planet, right?
Well, they have changed and they're going to continue to change. It's our response to that change that really matters.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm a big supporter of, and I have to work on this. Think what happens for 2, 3 generations, 7 generations. What choices am I making now that are going to impact 7 generations from now?
right. When I get lazy and I'm peeling onions or something, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to put them in the compost bin. It's outside the back door, right?
Yeah.
10 feet away, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. That's easy. But yeah, it's well, we are sending you lots of love, Miss Betsy. You're so amazing, and they're so lucky that um, they have people like you there that work in the light. You know, that must be a beautiful, sacred time for you to be there, and interesting.
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
She said it, I didn't.
yeah,
But and it's hard work. It's hard work, and it's also hard work to hold that space and to remain kind. I
and
think
walk the line. Yeah,
I think there's a balance to be discovered. I don't think we're there yet, but
Yeah.
I believe that it isn't that difficult to find. I really believe we can find it. They're just, human welfare needs to be, the priority needs to be raised just a bit.
yeah, yeah. I feel like we're getting there. It's and I don't know if it's going to be. I kind of feel like it's going to be by 2030. I mean, it feels like it's going to take at least that much time to kind of get to where everybody has a right to do something or a right to say something and have their value, because we're not valuing people. We're valuing the people that have all the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
That whole thing about work hard to take care of the corporation and the corporation will take care of you.
Trickle down. Yeah. Yeah. And corporations aren't built like that, right? They want to take care of their investors. That's their job. Betsy, the ancestors are here working, and the bamboo fairies are real. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's
that's
some
so
great
beautiful.
bamboo spots I could show you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah. We are the creators. Oh, I love that, Denise. We can send healing light and love in there and call upon the ancestors to raise the vibration.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Company store. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, the company store. We could, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Betsy.
Yeah.
It was just lucky timing. I haven't, yeah.
You came on and it was like the perfect time. And I was like, I really wanted to invite you, but I know that you walk that line. And I was like, I don't think she'll come on if I ask her. I think she'll feel funny about it, or I don't know. So thank you for coming on and letting us know what's going on. And
It's hard, guys. It's hard. I cannot express how hard it is every day, because it's not like any other state that has tourism as a part of their income or part of their whatever. It isn't like that here. If you're a regular person and you have a job here, it's in the tourist industry.
Sure.
So every day, we put the smiles on and we step out and we do our best.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's on my way to work, knowing that I'm going to be smiling for the next 10 hours. I have to drive by the latest 975 vacation condos that are being built.
Yeah.
So it's really weird being here. It's challenging, and yeah, I guess maybe I needed to say it out loud. Maybe that's what this is all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Oh,
that's important. And I appreciate you being able to be the one to articulate that, because you're saying it, you're experiencing it, and so many other people are. So thank you for
yeah. And we're, as far as I know, we're not getting the information on it, because I must have Googled it 20 times.
And you
there's
won't
no
get it.
information coming in. Yeah.
You won't get it. Maui is very much like a college campus when it comes to news.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't tell you what goes on. If you join Maui 24/7, you're gonna find out.
Okay. Everybody, let's do that. We can do that. It's on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
Maui
but
24/7.
you'll see what really does go on here on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Betsy, and coming on. And I know it wasn't easy, and I really respect you for it and honor you.
No, I thank you guys for letting me jump in here and hijack your what would have been a very tender and loving homage.
This is what needs to happen.
And this was tender and loving, because sometimes the truth needs to be said, and that's what's important.
Yeah,
So.
and also it's like this is the tipping point, I think, with Maui. It's like for change, and it's going to happen all over the country. I mean, I feel like it will, because things have to change. We can't continue like this to work for people, and our kids aren't going to be able to buy houses, maybe. I mean, it's not set up the way society's set up, and we're all light beings, so why should we do that, right? Yeah, things will change. Living more for the community and for the good of all.
Well, what makes this the perfect proving ground for exactly that process, what you're talking about, because in continental US, things go bad in a town, you can try to move somewhere else where maybe you have some family in another place, try to restart, find some jobs. Well, it ain't like that here. I mean, if you're living here, you'll do the jobs that are here, but the people that can't afford to stay are gone. And it's not like Google could bust people in from the suburbs
Right.
to work here. Once the workers leave the island, they're nobody to fill the job. So right. I think it could be kind of a learning experience for other cities on how to respect the workforce enough to keep them and to keep the jobs filled and to keep the jobs respectful as well. And I think there's potential for that. So maybe that's why it's going on here. Hadn't thought of that before, but maybe that's what's going on.
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, that would be excellent. Everybody wants you to hang in there. Julie says, my sister-in-law's family from Lahaina had their property and worked there for generations. Blessings and prayers. Yeah. Betsy, take us on a vertical tour. Thank you very much. It makes me cry. A virtual tour. Yeah. But you did say virtual and I said vertical. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a virtual tour. This is the entirety of my home with the exception of the bathroom. That's how I can afford to live here. I live in the rumpus room somewhere. And I have a lot of friends that live just like I do, guys.
Yep.
I'm not suffering by any means because I have a $3 million view and the best landlords on the planet. But yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But beautiful. That's how I can afford to live here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Being aware of what's going to happen. Yeah. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. So
thank you guys. So good to see you both.
Yeah, so good to see you.
I know I haven't been around much lately, but it's
it's okay.
Everyone.
It's okay. Stay on and we'll say goodbye to everybody here and talk to y'all later. Lots of love.
Bye.